On October 7th, 2025, a single image from the European Space Agency sparked more questions than answers. It showed 3I Atlas, the interstellar visitor sweeping past Mars, a moment the world had waited months to see. But instead of a clear revelation, we got a blur, followed by silence. For 4 long days, every other space agency stayed quiet. No images from NASA, nothing from China, only one frame from ESA, and even that came with an explanation that raised eyebrows. Its chemistry made no sense. Its orbit seemed almost intentional, and its faint glow told a story that physics alone couldn't explain. If this was just another comet, why did the data look like a secret no one wanted to share? This is the investigation behind the object that may have just rewritten the rules of interstellar visitors. It started 5 days earlier, on October 2nd. Perseverance's Skycam, a small wide-field color camera, normally used to watch dust storms, caught a faint glint above the Martian horizon. Within hours, the annotated frame went viral. A green-circled smudge labeled 3I Atlas. That's when Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb stepped in. In a TV interview, he smiled and said, "It's most likely motion blur. Perhaps one of Mars's moons, Phobos or Deimos. Nothing cylindrical, just a long exposure on a moving target." Still, that single grainy image anchored every discussion that followed. The search for answers now had a starting point, a real frame from the surface of another planet showing an interstellar object in its sky. The next day brought a cosmic coincidence. 7 spacecraft, each in its own orbit around Mars, all with a line of sight toward the interstellar visitor. From NASA's HiRISE camera, capable of spotting a rover's tracks from orbit, to ESA's Cassis imager aboard ExoMars and the infrared spectrometers on Mars Express, the red planet had suddenly become the best observatory in the solar system. Even China's Tianwen-1 and the UAE's HOPE probe joined the watch, turning what began as routine monitoring into an unplanned, planetary-scale experiment. Each instrument had its own strengths, some chasing heat, others chasing gas signatures or light polarization, but they all faced the same problem. 3I Atlas was faint, fast, and unpredictable. Instead of a crisp portrait, the world got a looping GIF, a pale smudge crawling through static. Critics accused the agency of hiding sharper images, but the explanation was simpler. Loeb later noted that at ExoMars's 340-kilometer altitude, the glow covered roughly 2 pixels on Cassis's detector, the same core already visible in Hubble's July snapshot. The camera just wasn't designed to capture something so faint. The object's brightness sat at the edge of detection, and any extra sharpening would invent detail that didn't exist. When asked about a possible cover-up, Loeb laughed.
The delay is not a signature of extraterrestrial intelligence. It's more a signature of terrestrial stupidity.
A line equal parts wit and truth. NASA was partly frozen by a government shutdown. Routine processing simply stopped. Yet timing is everything. And in a vacuum of information, bureaucracy can look a lot like conspiracy. When partial analyses began leaking through internal memos, they were puzzling. Early spectra hinted at an object dominated by carbon dioxide. Other readings suggested nickel emission without iron, a pairing that doesn't make chemical sense. Both metals usually evaporate together. Each clue bent the rules but stopped short of breaking them. A CO2-rich comet is rare but possible. Nickel without iron could hint at unusual dust grains or temperature gradients. Loeb summarized it with calm curiosity. There's maybe a 30 to 40% chance it's not a natural object, but most likely it is, just with anomalies. It was the scientist's way of saying, we don't know yet, and that's okay. Loeb has already urged coordination beyond national lines. He's written a proposal to the United Nations calling for a small permanent task force to review future interstellar detections. Not to chase aliens, but to ensure that genuine anomalies don't vanish into bureaucratic gaps. A global early warning system for interstellar surprises. So, what's left once the rumors fade? A faint confirmed image from ESA. A possible detection from Perseverance's Skycam. Unverified but intriguing chemical readings. High CO2, nickel without iron, deep negative polarization. And a flight path that looks almost too deliberate, yet fits the math. Each piece is real data wrapped in uncertainty. Together they don't prove an engineered object, But they do prove how thin the line is between scientific patience and public imagination. A smear of pixels, a delayed press release, a scientist's wry joke about terrestrial stupidity. Space keeps its secrets not because someone locks them away, but because our tools, our timing, and sometimes our politics aren't fast enough to catch them. Somewhere beyond the sun, the object keeps moving. Neither hero nor villain, just a messenger reminding us how much sky we still haven't learned to read.